Hello and welcome to another episode to Beyond the Last Man. It's been a while, so we kind of thought like we just have to follow up on this. I know yesterday we had our original postcard on, and Lottie was there as well, so she is a double shift this week. And I thought like it's too long, and the women are back playing now, so I invited Eamonn now from the other podcast to give his opinion about the women's game as well. And just to see like it's
Evening, Lottie. I'm the real John Giles there, not that other goon that's on the other show there.
Oh God.
You go think he's gonna kick the shins off me the next time we see him there.
Oh God, yeah. So this is exactly what we brought Eamonn in for, a bit of entertainment factor as well on our podcast. And obviously like Lottie, our local goonerette, who's a season ticket holder in for the Arsenal women, and she's been at the Chelsea game and things she can tell us all about. So yeah, well, welcome again. And today, what day is today? Wednesday, the 18th already in January. It's crazy, isn't it? Time is just flying. So what we would like to talk about today is really the Chelsea game, first game back, like after a bit of a Christmas break, just to see where Arsenal are now, where the transfers going, because they have a transfer window exactly the same as the men, and yeah, where we're going to go in the second half of the thing. So I want to start off with Lottie, obviously, because she's at the game at Chelsea. You've been there. What did you think, and what do you make of the Arsenal after the break?
Yeah, we looked fully refreshed, recharged, ready to go. Obviously things were a little bit different with the departure of Jordan Nobbs, but which kind of has devastated most of us. She's been there 12 years. And it's just upsetting knowing that I'm not going to see her run the club anymore.
Yeah,
she's Arsenal through and through and always will be. But the move is understandable, purely on the basis that she wants to play, and Villa can give for sure.
100%, yeah.
But there were 46,000 fans there, and it was just absolutely brilliant to see the whole of the lower tier and 3/4 of the upper tier completely full.
Yeah.
It was just nice to see the game growing and growing. Every time we have a WSL game in the Emirates now, there's more and more people turning up, and it's just brilliant to see. I was lucky enough to be sitting right next to the tunnel behind Emma Hayes. I did give her a bit of what for, because she kept wandering out of her box with a few of my friends. It gets to the point where she did turn around and start looking for us, because there's people across the 2 blocks telling her to get back in her box, which was good fun. And eventually we ended up reminding her she Champions Europe. Chelsea will never ever sing that. We're still the only English club to do so. I don't think there will be another English club to do it for a long time, although Chelsea have been closed several times. In terms of the game, though, the lineup is what I expected. New signings on the bench. I was hoping to see Kull more than anything. I've seen a little bit of Pavlova, but I expected her to come on over anybody else, which she did. Kimmy, ice cold penalty, absolutely brilliant as always.
Yeah.
But I just enjoyed it. I did enjoy it until Sam Kerr got her goal out of nothing, as always, and it was just like great. But that's what Chelsea have always done. They get goals out of nothing.
It is, isn't it? They didn't have much chances, and it's a shame, because I think it would have put us in a much better position if we would have just, got the 1-0 win. Look, we still have to play them once again, but a 3-point cushion would have been nice, So yeah.
No, definitely. I've got to give credit to Rafaeli as well. She absolutely dealt perfectly with Sam Kerr throughout the game.
Yeah.
It got to the point where Sam Kerr switched side, and she ended up waiting for Leah Williamson to make a mistake, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, no, 100%. And if you didn't see it yet, and you watch this podcast, I do have highlights up on our channel, so I'm trying to push that as well from their side, just to see what the women's game is. And we get loads of replies. So we have over 1,000 views now on the highlights, which is absolutely phenomenal. And that's another reason why we're doing this podcast, because I think the women's game needs that kind of mention in the same way as you said, 46,000 in the stadium, and it just keeps growing, and it's just perfect. and that's exactly what we want to do. And as I said, we brought Eamonn in, you know, and I'm sure like you have some good things about the women's game as well. You've seen it grow as well, and I think, what did you see the game, or did you watch the highlights, or?
I watched the highlights because I was in transit on the day in question.
Yeah.
I was getting prepared, preparation H. But the first thing I want to do is I want to congratulate and give credit to Chelsea, because they've proved to me that they are a club that promotes equality, because they are equally as irritating whether it's from men or women. They are a horrible outfit, but equally horrible no matter what the gender, and hats off to them, right? Somebody said to me on the other podcast group, or on the podcast group, you know, after they signed Mudrake, burn Stamford Bridge down to the ground, and I said, no, I said, leave it up there, it's a kip, right? Everything about Chelsea is a kip, and their women's team are, and this is difficult, as irritating, right? So hats off for the equality across there in Fulham, or wherever it is they're from. Okay, so that's the first thing.
The bus stop in Fulham, isn't it?
It's Fulham Broadway, isn't it? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I actually was wondering, Lottie, you covered it in your summation there. I was wondering what the atmosphere is beginning to get like at the stadium, given that there's so many people coming. It's probably a bit, I would imagine it's a bit more family friendly, and you know, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think I said it the last time I was on the this show. I remember walking through Finglas West, where I'm from in North Dublin, about 25 years ago, and I saw an under 15 girls match, and the level of skill was unbelievable. And I said, it's only a matter of time before the battle for the remote control changes gender when Match of the Day comes on, you know. And do you know what, the skill level, I watched the highlights, and you know, I love the way the ball is played on the grass. I mean, the great Brian Clough, to my mind, the greatest manager ever for what he achieved with small village teams, said, if football was meant to be played in the sky would be green, right? So you play it on the deck. And I thought about the game, looking at the chances and reading through the various reports. First of all, Arsenal should have won the game, right? They had enough, not so much as in razor-like chances, but they had enough territory, dominance of the ball, and all of that. They were lucky not to concede a penalty in the first half. They got away with one there, but also they had a point-blank header that should have been, you know, should have put us on our way. The penalty we got was outside the box. But look, doesn't it kind of throw up a question about, Jesus, without VAR, I mean, the referee's given a penalty, it's slightly outside the box, so what, get on with it. So what, get on with it, as Dave O'Leary would say. So the penalty was dispatched beautifully, that was all good stuff. Really, I think the turning point was we had several situations to go 2-0 up, you know. We didn't. Their goalkeeper, Musovic, had a Ramsdale. You know, the one that she flaked at and hit the crossbar. You know, when your stars align, and that's what happened to her. But she was brave. But Arsenal played bravely. I thought they were the dominant team in possession. But what really impressed me was from their front players and this is like from, you know, a 15-minute highlights package. But you could see every time the aggression in their pressing was really, really, and imagine, Lottie, in the stadium, you see that a lot more, and the crowd probably respond to that, and it creates it leads to a great atmosphere. So overall, listening to the manager, listening to the players, it was a good performance. Felt like a bit of a loss the way it happened, because the goal, I mean, I presume, I don't know too much about the Chelsea team other than how irritating they are. And it's amazing how you can make that judgment in 15 minutes. But I back my judgment all day long. But Sam Kerr to be left getting across the centre half at that point of the game, having played as a centre half myself, you'd be kind of thinking, whatever you do, if the ball is out on that side of the pitch, don't let them get across you. Don't let them get across you. And it was just unfortunate. But the Arsenal team, they played, I thought, from the bits I saw, they played with a great sense of expression. It's a 3 or 4 horse race, probably 3. I think Man City are a little bit back, and it leaves the team in with every chance to be right in at the mix for the rest of the season.
Yeah. No, I think as well, as I said, it's a shame because it would have given us a 3-point cushion we would have been the same level points with Chelsea and game in hand.
Yeah.
And now it's going to come down again like last year, like to the second last game, I think we played Chelsea. And that's what it is. So because you can't say anyone's dropping points, but they do have to play City, they do have to play Man United as well. So look, everything is there for play, but it would have been a nice cushion. But
it would have been a nice cushion, Martin. But I'll say one more thing. Conceding the equaliser at the point in the game they did was so frustrating, Deirdre. Put a sock in it, Barlow. Yeah.
No, it was definitely. But they had a few warning shots beforehand, so it was not saying it was coming, but then Chelsea anyway. We knew in the second half.
They're a strong team. They're a strong team.
They're a strong team, and that's what it is. But I must say, it's the first game back now since after Christmas, and it's really kind of the changes they had, and as you rightly said, the new signings we had, they didn't get a game yet, really. So I'm sure, they're gonna bed in quite well. Krul is kind of a very good Danish talent, young talent, who plays for the national team, and I'm sure she's gonna go and play good thing. And look, if you lose your goat and the best player or the second best player from the Ballon d'Or from the women, it's a hard thing to take. I mean, the man lost Gabriel Jesus, so we lost both of them. So it's a bit of a disaster. And thank God Kim Little is back now. I think that just stabilized a bit the midfield as well. And we didn't take our chances. And again, that's just because if you lose your strikers and your best players of the team, that's what happens. But I'm sure they're gonna get over it. What I found very good as well is, and it just shows the class of Arsenal. I don't know if you heard that, but Mead lost her mother, and after the game, when they were celebrating in the men's team, put up a shirt, and I think that just shows so much class from an Arsenal team, and we're thinking of her as well, because it's not an easy time. She's injured and losing her mother, so that's 2 very, very deep points in your career probably and in your life, and it can't be easy. So I hope she's seen it. I'm pretty sure she's seen it, and I'm sure she would like that anyway. Yeah, and where am I going to go? Yeah, actually, we had to actually recall the young girl from Spain, Quiros, in it. She's coming back, so it'd be interesting to see what she's like if she gets a game. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it could be interesting. We've also brought Gio back from Everton, which I'm really excited to see her play.
Exactly,
I've been making a point of watching the Everton games just because I know she was getting the minutes.
Yeah,
I'm really quite excited. I don't know much about the other one, but I'm really excited to have
Yeah.
Gio. Very, very excited.
Yeah. At least they're making signings, isn't it? They're just getting transfers in.
No, definitely. I mean, there's been one that's come out today I'm not very happy about. I'm just, I've got no words.
Apparently, Chelsea have made a bid for Wonder Woman. You remember Wonder Woman from the 1980s? Apparently, Chelsea heard that Arsenal were interested in her and went, decided they were going to make a bid. I think they're going to pay 50 million for Wonder Woman, who gets changed in the phone box, and
thank the Chelsea transfer team. Don't come and poach off us. They stay well clear. I've got to give credit to Emma Hayes there. She knows who she wants to add to her team and who she wants to get rid.
Yeah.
So when we were 1-0 up, I was having a conversation with my friend, and they're taking off for the captain, which is Izzy Christensen. Yeah, I think that's her. Yeah. And then we were sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, you're taking off the captain. There's rumours that you're leaving. Who are you going to bring on? You've no longer got Bethany England. He sold it to Tottenham.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
it's actually Tottenham. Look, I don't know that much about football, how the strength of it, but
Yeah.
Tottenham, I'm not sure. But now Iwabuchi going as well to Tottenham, you know, so they're getting some quite good players, you know.
I've got to admit, I've had a look at their photo shoots, and those 2 players who've just signed for them, do not look happy.
Yeah,
They
it's
don't look happy.
in some ways, and then it's probably like even like Jordan Nobbs, you know.
They want to play, but
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
They want to get minutes because obviously I think Japan are they in the World Cup as well. I don't know, but I'm sure they do want to get like their minutes, and it is a World Cup coming on. Like, and we are living in a strange world where, you know, like you have to do things. I mean, I'm not even talking about Mudryk, you know, like he didn't look the best as a form when he went to Chelsea, you know. But look, in the end of him, for him, it's probably more money, not like that he has to play. But for the other 3 girls who went to different clubs, you know, is they had to go to get their minutes that they can secure a World Cup spot, isn't it?
Yeah, I do feel bad though, because I feel like the time that Man has been here since, I think, 2018.
Yeah,
we've more or less just used her for photo shoots, because over the summer and before the summer, she had her ankle operation, so she didn't get to play much. So we kind of just used her for photo shoots mostly.
Yeah. Did you see Ford's interview after the game? When she spoke about, you know, she pretty much kind of alluded to, look at this, the 3rd game of the Emirates, 46,000 people. This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
I'm so proud to play for a club like the Arsenal. You know, it's stuff now, you know.
With Caitlin, the women's Australian team is fairly big, and they have that level of crowds. She absolutely thrives on it. She had a brilliant game. It's a shame to get it in the back of the net.
Yes.
Yeah, herself and the other girl, Blackstenius, is it? Yeah. That's what I could pick out from what I saw anyway, you know, in terms of certainly when I talk about pressing, they were right at it. They were right at it.
Thing is, you know, if you watch her a bit more, it was nice to see her onside. She's always offside, and it does get frustrating. But the last game or so, she's been onside, and it's we shouldn't really joke about it, but it's kind of funny. And she scored some wicked goals for the last game, which was the Champions League tie away, when I was really pleased for her, because she was onside and they were just absolutely beautiful. But
just for our Irish listeners, Lottie, I'm going to explain. Wicked actually means fantastic. You know, it doesn't mean haunted or enchanted on the dark side or on the.
I apologize.
Wicked.
No, it's all right. Like, you know, and actually another thing what happened probably during the week before is like, we have probably all seen the stadium reveal, or like the model was revealed, and again, like it just shows the guys, you know, like they're really putting this into it now. Like, and a lot of women as well present on the banners outside, like, you know, and so fitting with the Invincibles, you know, like having on one side the men, you know, like carrying the cup, you know, and then on the other side, like
to be honest, like, I don't want anybody to think that that's a kind of a little patsy, you know, or
no.
No, I'm not saying you're saying it.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to think that, because you know what I mean. Since Vic Akers had that team in the 90s, look at what they've achieved.
Yeah,
you know, they deserve every bit of the artwork, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just good to see, like, you know, that it's out there, like, you know, like, and that we are recognizing it now, you know.
Oh, 100%. It's nice. It's like when I was growing up, the one key women's player I knew about, and only player I knew about, was Rachel Yankee. She deserves to be up there, because she's
Oh yeah, she was special.
Up there. Obvious one, but for me, it's Rachel Yankee. That's the only female footballer I ever heard of when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And look now, you've got Alex Scott going up there. You've got Aluko going up there. Probably pronounced that wrong. I do apologise if anybody does know her name. And then you've got a few others, and it's a beautiful piece of artwork, and that makes me excited, because the club is recognising we are one team. I don't know if you all saw after the Spurs game, Rob Holding had a shirt up for Beth in the team photo.
Yeah,
which was
is,
and it's just great to see, because I know Beth and Rob are really good friends.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's what you need, and that's what you have to be as a club there. Not just mention it, but like even in the club shop when you go in now, like there is shirts there now with pre-printed shirts for women's, and that's exactly what it is. And you need to say, and you have to applaud it in some way, but it shouldn't be something kind of like what we should just talk about. It should be normal anyway, because like Arsenal women are as successful, as the men, and the history what they have, is just something.
I will draw a reference to a point I made when I was approached by an individual who I won't kind of say who it was, whatever. And the men in the first game of the season were playing Crystal Palace. And we were 1-0 up at half time, but we were under the cosh. And I was told by somebody who had anger management issues that we'll win nothing with that team, that we need a big time manager, and that we need proper. Wait for this now, Lottie. Proper owners like Man City or Newcastle, right? And straight away I asked the question, well, what about their human rights record? It's not great, like, and I was told, F human rights, this is football. I said, so, okay, let's go somewhere now where I'm going to take you. What about this Arsenal for everyone? What's all that about? So, Arsenal fans, to be honest with you, I'm so proud of the club, the way they've approached diversity in the community, not in the last 20 years, in the last 60 years.
Yeah. And
I can tell you, when it wasn't easy to be Irish in the 1950s in England, for all sorts of reasons, right? The Arsenal were the club where Jamaicans went, where Irish went, where Greeks went, when Turks went, because Arsenal were onto that Arsenal in the community since the 1950s, right? And I'm very, very proud of that. But we can't arrogantly sit on our kind of moral high stool and say Arsenal for everyone, and then decide we want owners that have horrific human rights records. So I think that what we're talking about here, in terms of how we have equalized the women's game within the club, right, is just more of what the Arsenal does, and I'm very, very proud of that.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so I mean, look, as I said, it was a good game. We're back now in the fold. I said that we have injuries, so we bought some people. Like, we reacted to it. We bought new people, and I think we need them because like the schedule for the women is as tight as the men's now. Like, we have on the 22nd, so this Sunday coming up, like we play against Brighton. Then we play the Conti Cup during the week on Thursday against Villa at home. I don't know. Are you going to any of them games, or is
I'm going to Villa at home. It's my first opportunity to see Rachel Daly live as a striker and not a defender. I'm so excited. She's like my favourite non-Arsenal player. But obviously, I'm excited to see the girls as usual. Nice to be back home first time this year. Yeah,
be interesting as well with Jordan Nobbs probably playing, no?
Yeah, Jordan as well. She'll probably say her goodbye to the Arsenal fans a week in week.
I watched the Villa League game live. I think we won 3-1, as I recall, and they gave us a lot of trouble. They gave us a lot of trouble. They can play.
Villa. Yeah. Recruited very well, very, very well.
Exactly, yeah. And as I said, and then after that is like on the Sunday after is like against Leeds at home again in the league, and then the FA Cup we play West Ham away. So yeah, it's all to play for. Like, they are in 3 cups as well, and in the Champions League. But the Champions League is only in March. So the draw is on the 10th of February. Mm-hmm. I looked at the setup for that. Like, we can play PSG, Munich, or Roma. That's the only 4 or the only 3 we can actually get drawn in. We are seeded, so it's a good thing that our second game is at home, so that might be a bit of a thing. And then, but as I said, the game is on the 22nd and then the 29th of March, that kind of weeks. So there's a bit to the Champions League, but it's like they're involved in 4 competitions as well, and long may it last, So we need to strengthen because as I said, we miss both of them they won't come back in this season, Vivian and Beth, so like they're gonna be out for it. So yeah, they are definitely in a tight schedule. So like I said, they need players, and then hopefully we can get them up and running, and hopefully we can get the results as well, So, and then the World Cup is in front of the door, which is absolutely mad to think that, in 6 months' time we're playing a World Cup, and Ireland is going to be in it, which is going to be even. Like I would going to be excited to see how.
Excited for Katie. The opening, isn't really excited for Katie.
Be really exciting, and I'm sure, it's going to be. It's I don't know, say it's going to be like 1990 for Ireland, but it'd be definitely for the women's game. It's going to be a turning point, and hopefully they do well. Look, Katie can't do it on her own. There's some other good players in the team,
This game with her, that's for sure.
Exactly, and so she doesn't get much time at the moment, Katie, isn't it? She just
she got 15 minutes the other day.
Yeah,
safer to keep her off. I saw her come on, and I'm thinking, right, please no yellow card. And what happened?
I know, yeah. I actually seen that she has this nickname now, Katie McCard.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, she is. I don't know, is she just too anxious, to go into
She was better than she was last season, put it that way. She managed to last to Man United before getting her first card. I was really impressed. Okay. But Caitlin Ford decided to pick up the yellow cards instead, so which was really weird.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a tough thing. Like for me as well, from the Austrian side, I can see Winreiter is actually betting in quite well. She's defending quite well. So that at least is my Austrian, and obviously Zinsberg and goal. That's my two Austrian links, which I'm quite proud of. Unfortunately, we didn't make the World Cup. We just got booted out. But there's more chances to come. But I have to say, it does the world of good to Austrian football as well.
Martin, it's all that yodeling. It's a distraction.
It is, yeah.
It's a
especially when you play in ski boots. Sometimes it doesn't really work, So it's just one of these things. No, but look, it's kind of like again, not only Ireland, not England. It's in Austria as well. Women's game is flying, and it's just good to see.
Mm-hmm.
And
when you try and slalom your way through the defense, you have to have the ball at your feet.
True. That's it. Like I said, we would win a lot more, things with ski boots on, but that's not what it is. But look, it's just great to see, and it's amazing. Same as RTE, they shown all the European games live, in Austria as well. So it's just a good statement, and that's exactly what they need. They need for commercials and everything,
What I have noticed is, nothing will ever be like Italian 90 in this country, because the whole country went bonkers. We'd never experienced it before, Ireland at a World Cup. But I have to say, the level of interest over here in the women's game and the impact that the qualification for the World Cup has been huge, and long may it continue,
Yeah, 100%. The same as the women's team in England, we've winning the Euros. That just kind of put it to a different level, though, and that's exactly what you want them to do, and look at it. Hopefully, brings the commercial express as well.
They were a great watch.
100%.
They were a great watch. I thought they were a great watch.
Yeah. And do you think actually, Lottie? Do you think they have a chance to win World Cup? Is it different? Obviously, there's different teams in there, but
definitely. I mean, Sam Kerr, Caitlin Ford, and Steph Catley are going to be on the same team. They make a midfield force for the hosts. I'm not going to lie.
And playing in their own home grounds, or in the kind of own turf as well. It's a different one,
There's one thing they need to do to win the World Cup, and that's change that crest into 3 lionesses, because as everybody knows, in the jungle, the male lion does not get a look in. The lioness rules the jungle.
Exactly.
There's the suggestion now. That might bring a bit of added weight.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. But it's gonna be difficult because it's 155 days to summer from today.
Okay.
Beth Mead,
you're not counting, are you?
I am counting down. I saw a meme today from one of my friends. She's a massive Arsenal fan. 155 days till Beth Mead's back, and it's been hinted she's ahead of schedule. So with some luck, she'll be okay to go to the World Cup. I need her to go with Serena. I really do. I don't think for me personally, the one player I really don't want to see going is Nikita Paris. She doesn't do it for me. And I'm like, just take Beth England with you, take Beth Mead, and just go for it. But obviously, Serena is going to make her choices of who she's taking. I'm hoping Beth will be back in training and she'll go, and she'll be in that situation the same as Fran Kirby was over the summer, where she wasn't 100%, still went, because Beth Beth has worked so hard over the qualifications. If you watch them over the last 6 months, so she deserves to go. And yeah, no, England have got a chance.
You said 155 days. If you were on Jonathan's show, by the time the show was over, you could knock it down to 154.
That is true. That is true.
Well, no, yeah. So like that's why kind of like we know is that we're gonna do this a short and sweet one. And again, we're not even doing it like every week. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. But then I said, especially with the schedule they have, and when the Champions League is back, I'm sure we have hopefully much more to talk about. And yeah, just to even like to, as I said, for us is to promote them and kind of see like where we can go with it, And as I said, follow us on our channel just for the highlights as well. I'm trying to. I was very hard because I was cutting this together just before I went to the Spurs game. So I was sitting at home, cutting everything together, like and putting it on the YouTube channel, and I uploaded it when I was on the bus into town. So it's not great when they play on the same day. It's unfortunate.
You know what? I'm not complaining because I was in the ground and I kind of just come out and I ran down the road to my favourite pub and it was just full of Arsenal fans and I loved it.
And where was that?
Oh, the Tollington.
The Tollington. Is that where you go? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that like when the match is on? Is there lots of people in there actually?
It's round. Yeah, especially for away, it's absolutely round, especially for games like Spurs.
Yeah.
It's round. You literally cannot.
It's so close to the ground. You would think like everybody who's in the Tollington before the game would go into the ground. But it's funny. Like I met a Swiss guy, and in the river bar where we are watching our games, and he lived in North London for a while, and he lived. And they went in the pub and he was talking to a lot of lads then and said, like, I'm going to the Emirates now. You must be going every week. And he said, no, we can't afford that, mate. To go every day, And he said, so we never gone there, So it's kind of strange for us because like we are traveling over, we be in the pubs and everything. But it must be different when you live there, and it's just kind of say like, where do you watch your matches? So you watch it there, obviously,
Yeah, no. I thing is, I'm about half an hour from the Emirates, so I will go down for a ticket. I'll sit in the pub and watch it just for the atmosphere and. Obviously, I'll catch up with people post-match, pre-match, and that sort of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
It's funny like that, Martin, because I drink in. Well, I've been to the Tollington on many occasions, particularly if I was over there midweek and Arsenal were playing, let's say, away. I happen to be in London. I'd go to the Tollington to watch the game or whatever. And there's always I bought the Per Mertesacker signed book from the Tollington and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I drink in the King's Head on the Blackstock Road. Before the men's games, and I'm familiar with over the years a number of the season ticket holders, and it reminds me of a story I'll tell you in a second. And they say to me, Eamonn, how do you do that? Like, you come over, I'm pretty much there every second home game or whatever, And I said, well, I've never known it any other way. So it's not, you've never known it any other way. And I play in a band, and the bass player is an identical twin. And he says, people ask me, what's it like to be an identical twin? And I ask them, what's it like not to be? Never known nothing else. So
no,
that's true, it. Like we do what we do, and that's it. We do it for the love of the Arsenal. And I'm just so glad that at age 5.5, much as the journey has been character building over the years, I'm just glad that I chose the Arsenal. That's
exactly,
it.
Yeah. And like even myself now, like I actually finally got a ticket for the United game, so I'm going to be traveling down from Birmingham this Sunday.
I'll see you there.
Yeah. So like it's just great to go to these games. You've been at the Spurs game and the United game. Hopefully the atmosphere is gonna be as electric as was for the Spurs game. So like it's all good, Like what I'm planning to do is like to go on a weekend where the women play on a Saturday and the men play on a Sunday, just to go to both games. Yeah. That would be great. The last time I tried it, they had to postpone the game because Boreham Wood was playing in the FA Cup, so they couldn't use the stadium. But they had to move the game after the men's game, and then we had to go home.
As much as I love the girls being on Sky and stuff and on free TV, it's a bit of a pain because they're on either one after the other, or they're on two at two awkward times, and you can't travel between the Emirates and Boreham Wood, or they're away somewhere, and it's chaos. But I'm currently really enjoying the fact that the Tollington does put the women's game on straight after. As soon as you walk in, it's up on the screen, and you can sit and watch it if you want to.
Yeah.
and it's the recognition is brilliant.
And actually, like, just
where's Boreham Wood, Lottie, and geographically?
It's
north
just,
of thing, isn't it?
it's it's north of Barnet, which is just past me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just north of Barnet. That's the easiest way I can describe it, because it's near the what's the studios called? Epping? Is it Epping? No, some Elstree Studios.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's literally across the up the road and around the corner from there. That's it. I don't know why I said Epping. My geography is not great.
I always had it in the kind of the St Albans kind of direction.
Not quite.
Yeah, not quite. Yes, it's nearer than that.
I can put it this way. I can get one bus straight up there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what we are looking at, to get a bus up, like, and it will bring you quite close to the ground on it, and then it would have been great on a Saturday, and then like go back on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting, like with the well, that wasn't the promise what they made, but like our CEO said that he will try to get like most of the women's game in the Emirates, but it's kind of like a hard thing to do, as not only from like you want them to play in the Emirates, but like like how do you balance the men's game and the women's game?
Well,
you wouldn't ever be able to play in the same day,
because the men's games are all priority. They're sellouts.
Yeah.
They're going to have priority, so you won't be able to get all the games there. It's also how much money they want to spend on security, cleaners, people doing the vendors and the stewards, and it's going to cost them a lot more money if they do that. But I also think it's a really good idea if they are playing on the same day, give people the extra choice of a ticket to stay. I'd stay. I'd quite happily stay. Have one season, 2 games. I'd quite happily. Because the games are only £8-12. They're not £90-80, which I'm absolutely loving at the moment, because it's wallet friendly at the moment with everything.
But I think what they've done at the moment is quite progressive, on the basis that the games that have been played at the Emirates are played in front of 2/3 full and full stadiums. I'd much rather play in and this would equate to the men's league over here, the League of Ireland. I'd much rather play in an 8,000 stadium that's full and rocking than have 20,000 people in the 60,000 stadium. So it's a question of
can you feel
understanding an opportunity where you can encourage people to come along, and that grows and grows. But the more you do that, the more it happens. I think they've done it the right way by kind of doing it in increments.
Exactly.
Oh, they've definitely done it the right way. I completely agree with you. I mean, our Champions League games, when I first started going, was about 4,000 people.
Yeah.
What game before our last home game before Christmas was 7,000. So it's getting there, but it's also a case of they've only opened up part of the North Bank and the East Stand. It's midweek. It's cold. There's all taking place, and people coming from work and all that kind of stuff. And it's the same with the European nights for the men. You don't get the same crowd. You get fans going, but you don't get the same crowd as people on the weekend. So unless you're a person that's there every single game, you're not going to get the same crowd every single game.
Yeah. And that's exactly like why especially now coming back to the Irish women, when they were really successful, and they could sell probably half of the Aviva out as well, but they just said, no, we want to play in Tala, because it's like it's going to be a packed crowd, the atmosphere is going to be much better, and it's understandable. I know, don't say much about Tala, but it did say.
It's a bit like one of the Tottenham a few seasons ago, guys. A lot of fans got really upset because there was this fierce North London derby atmosphere going around. Beth Mead did an interview post-match. I absolutely loved it. And I think some fans need to realise the game's changing. You're all not going to be friends and clap for the other team. It's not going to happen.
I mean, actually, that's another thing. Wasn't the Chelsea fans like in the away sector this time? No, I'm sure there was a few Chelsea in the crowd as well. But the
blue flags all plopped up. But we forgot they were there half the time. They were that quiet. Yeah, that quiet. I only heard them maybe twice.
They're not fans. What are you talking about? They're not fans. They spend something like 600 million quid, and they've no revenue. They've no fans. They've no support base. Queen's Park Rangers are as big as them.
Yeah, true.
I'm serious, like.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, but what I'm saying is like they do kind of starting to separate the fans a bit now, like so they even because I don't think it's the atmosphere is as bad, but they're trying to now like segregate them a little bit.
Yeah, well, especially the away ends.
Yeah,
if you're away, you're getting separated. End of story. Because obviously, if like North London derbies, the last couple I've been to, it's all been mixed.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going away to the Tottenham ground, and we're going to be segregated because it does get a bit intense. And as I was saying, it's not always going to be nice because you're getting fans like me that cross over, that enjoy the banter, but I don't get nasty with it.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing is what it's all about. It's all about having a bit of a laugh with friends, but not taking it too far that you cross the line. And
exactly,
there's a lot of fans, like old school, like that I've been watching for the last 10 years. This is not how we operate. But the game's changing. You want it to grow, you don't. If you don't want it to grow, it can stay the way it is. But it's going to grow and it's going to turn into that.
Exactly, yeah.
And
well, look,
people are not going to like that.
I just think that if you go into Tottenham Hale, whether it's for shopping or a kebab or a football match, you should be segregated anyway. I mean, it's when you've got fans standing up and kicking the goalkeeper in the back.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to kind of dwell on this, but I saw the coverage of it. Like he ran up like a little coward and then stood up. And other gobshites then tried to hide him, I'm thinking, classless FC, Seven Sisters FC, no class,
Yeah. Look, we're not there yet, so we don't have to think with the women's game, but like it's going in the right direction. I think that's the good thing about it. And look, I don't want to do this too long either. Like we already have a 40-minute game, so. Listen, thanks again for coming for our. We actually got 2,800 subscribers now. So if you do, we always like new subscribers. I'm gonna put this up probably tonight, and then we can share it anyway. There is a little thanks button on our channel if you want to support us. I didn't mention this before, just to kind of every little helps. But look, it is what it is. We are so grateful for anybody who's listening to this, what we do. But we hope that we do get a bit especially with the women's game, we get a bit more insights, what's going on. And hopefully that we can bring the message out and long may it last anyway, and then hopefully we come together soon enough and we talk about a few more wins and then hopefully Champions League for the Arsenal women and see where we go. Listen, thanks very much for joining, and I see you, Eamonn, on Sunday.
I'll see you on Sunday.
Okay. Both on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys.
Pleasure, folks.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.